Yo, check it. Turn me up a little bit on the mic.
EC Sports, episode number 4. Let's talk some sports, man. We got NFL. I'm going to go into some of my favorite things like WWE and how trash they have become. And obviously, we're going to talk about our Bears and Caleb being the player of the week. But let's start with the NFL this past week. We had some really good games. We also going to talk about if you guys believe that it's possible that Vegas has something to do with these games because I am not avid. I'm a recreational. I'm a recreational gambler, and I had some bets that I feel like I could have won a lot more money on that people, I'm just saying people, I'm reading, I'm going off of what the internet is saying that um some of these games have implications that people are questioning, including the Bears game. So we'll get into that. But Baltimore had a game this week against Detroit, and Derrick Henry is starting to show his starting to be a little what's the word you're looking for? He's being exposed. They are punching the ball out at nauseum. He doesn't know how to react on the bench. Baltimore had it in hand and they pissed the bucket. Lamar, I guess I would say he had a few reasons to do this, but he was making a few facial expressions on national TV towards his coaches and against some of the calls that were made. I don't know if those calls are made to get Derrick Henry into the flow or if Derrick Henry kind of messed up a play, but there was a play where there was a toss out to Henry and he was supposed to throw the ball, but he threw it in like triple coverage. And if you look to the left, Lamar was wide open if Henry would have turned around. But overall, I just feel like a guy makes a mistake, especially nowadays in the NFL when he's known so much for what he can do, he's going to hear about it, right? Cleveland said he's easy to tackle. He made like a he is in Derrick Henry made like a blanketed statement, said, "Oh, we'll see this week," and he didn't do shit. So those are the games that are interesting. And the reason I'm bringing up Baltimore is my barber's a Baltimore fan, and he bashes my Bears. But what he doesn't understand is the Bears aren't expected to win this year. We have a murderer's row schedule that no one has. I think we're ranked top three with the hardest schedule this year. And also the way Baltimore has been since Lamar's come in the league, they're expected to win. I would say after his first or second year, ever since then, especially when they got Derrick Henry, they've been expected to win. So you cannot compare my Bears to Baltimore. Another few games this week is Minnesota, their defense just rattling Spencer Rattler, no pun intended. And how do you get drop 35 plus points within the first two quarters and you're an NFL team? At what point are you looking at, well, I don't know, is this team supposed to be in the NFL? Is it the quarterback? What is it? But those games are really hard to watch, especially when you're a gambler or you're in fantasy. Now, I did have Minnesota's running back, and I'm sure a lot of people, again, like my barber, he had Minnesota's defense. So a few people were happy with that. But with the NFL, and I'm just going to go right into the gambling aspect with the NFL, you don't want to become a brand where anyone could have second guess judgments. Now, I looked at a few plays that were a little iffy, you know, made you wonder. I had a bet where CD Lamb was supposed to get 70 plus yards, and a lot of these gambling websites have this thing where they back you up, or if a player gets hurt, they're going to take care of you. Now, CD Lamb, now I'm going to preface by saying I needed Baltimore's punk asses to win for this to even be a subject for me, but I'm sure there were a lot of people that had CD Lamb and he was the only issue in a bet, and he got hurt. Now, the only weird thing that I thought was he had a pretty severe high ankle sprain where he's going to miss weeks, but he came back in for one play, ran a route, and asked to come out. I know there's like some things where it has to happen in this quarter, it has to happen in this half. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It's just weird that he even came back. Your number one guy, you guys are a 64-yard field goal away from being 0-2, and you want to bring him back in to see if he can, you know, push through. I just think that that was kind of weird. And then the Matthew Golden play in, I believe, I forgot who they were playing, but Green Bay was playing Cleveland, and Green Bay was favored across the world, right? They're undefeated. They're all over the Micah Parsons train, and he got a wide open catch past Cleveland's best cornerback in Ward and Denzel Ward. And if you look at the video, you could say he kind of stumbled out of bounds, but there was like open just space in front of him. And, a lot of people are questioning it. I don't ever want to think that. You never want to wonder if the sport you love so much is rigged, especially over money. But, it's interesting to listen to and wonder. But it's just kind of weird. And in another sport, segueing over to here is WWE. Now, if some of you guys watch me, you know that I am a huge WWE fan. Myself and my family, we actually travel to WrestleMania to see the events, to see cities, and honestly, for the entertainment. The last one we've been to, which I would feel like is probably the last one that had the model that Vince McMahon had, which was families. We went to Philly, we did the 2-day event. My son and I went to the Monday Night Raw, and I believe we went to the SmackDown, right? My wife and daughter go, but they just want to see Roman. And they went to WrestleMania. But the whole thing is, you're a family of four, and we're middle class, we're not rich, so you want to be able to take someone or take your family to an event, and it's affordable, right? UFC, which we love to death, but that's just not an affordable situation for families. Is it for families? No, but that doesn't mean that you got to drop $1,000 to sit down in the same arena when you can watch it at home. But I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to take my family to an event. But I'll read it. TKO COO Mark Shapiro stated that WWE's ticket yield is lower than the UFC's, and there's significant potential to increase prices by adopting the UFC strategy of ticket yield management and advanced sale holds. Even though this could price out families and casual fans, which, let's be all real, their WWE is popular because of fans like myself and others. Shapiro framed the shift as a move to maximize profit, contrasting it with Vince McMahon's previous focus on affordability for families. Now, if you're talking like this, don't you feel your product should be abundantly amazing, right? They just signed this multi-million dollar, if not billion-dollar deal with ESPN, pushed WrestlePalooza, shifted Peacock to the side and said, "No, we're going to ESPN." They're so thirsty to talk about, "Oh, we're on ESPN," but the product isn't showing that. They have utilized Roman Reigns, who is their biggest draw, as a run-in guy who's getting stomped out by a guy that shouldn't even be holding his jockstrap, let alone his shoes. No offense, but Roman is your main guy, and he's just doing runouts at the end of Raw and getting beat to sleep just to go film a movie. There's so many different things you can do, right? But I'm saying all of this to say these ticket prices are ridiculous. I'm not gonna just hesitate and not say, but like we're talking like thousands of dollars per seat to go see a product that isn't um producing. Now, ESPN hasn't wavered. They have a grading system. They graded WrestlePalooza, which was their first WWE PLE, and they didn't seem happy. They got a grade of a C. It says if you took the Stephanie Vaquer fight out with Io Sky, that the event would have been even worse. Not letting John Cena win for what? He's on his retirement tour. You could have did so many different things. Had a run in for his next opponent, have John Cena win, but you chose to have John Cena get squashed on your first PLE on ESPN, which the network that you were so coveted and wanted to be on gave you a C. And then piggybacking on the next night with the Raw, it was said on ESPN that it was the worst show that they could have did after that debacle of a PLE that they had. Triple H was an amazing wrestler. He's probably on my tier three Rushmore of wrestlers. However, as an executive, along with his wife, who, she pulled away, but she's still here. I have nothing but respect for them. But Vince created this company with a dream, right? And Vince did some messed up stuff. Vince is a businessman. What I've always respected about Vince McMahon is it's about business and, what the fans want. And that's what business is, fans like myself, fans like, you know, as Mark Shapiro says, the casual fans are the ones that made WWE popular, the WWE universe. And it's just unfortunate that they continue to push this narrative that their gate prices and their attendance records. Bro, I've been to WrestleMania in Dallas where there were 100,000 people on a night, one night. We didn't do two nights back then. I was there in the Georgia Dome. Like I've seen real deal sellout crowds, and they're going to continuously go downward if they don't try to figure out a way to make sure the product equals what they're asking for. Because at some point, people are going to get fed up with that shit. But, we'll see how it goes. Now, let's get into my Bears. Mr. Williams, Caleb, he's the player of the week. He did what he was supposed to do. There was a thing going around out here. I'm sorry for my ashy elbows. Damn. Going around out here in Chicago where Wiener Circle said, hey, if our quarterback Caleb Williams throws 4 touchdowns, we're going to give away hot dogs for free on a Tuesday. And that's exactly what Caleb did. Now, Dallas ain't shit. Dallas is a 64-yard field goal away from being 0-3. Dak, the defense, everybody, the coaching staff, Jerry, it's not a good team, right? Giants just put some numbers on them, and the Bears, hey, we're not expecting to win. I got Mark on my hand. We're not expected to win this year. But when teams like Dallas come into our stadium, it's our job to do what we have to do. And that's what Caleb did. He played like a vet. He got his guys involved. He didn't overthrow. He made sure that some of the uh, you know, miscues like the flea flicker were adjusted and taken care of. They got Luther involved. It was a really good game. And going into the next game against the Raiders, I feel like this is a winnable team, and we just have to go in and play our game. We made sure that we did what we were supposed to do. Ben Johnson called the right plays, and we made sure that our defense held strong when Dallas tried to put up a little fight. And a lot of people are forgetting that Kyler Gordon and TJ Edwards are really big, important parts of our team, and we didn't have them, right? But Rome had his hair out, was doing his thing. He came out and the Bears did what they were supposed to do. And I was excited. It was a great game to watch because you know the talent that we have. It's just about putting it together and making sure that we play the games that we want to play. So we're gonna head out to Vegas, do what we're supposed to do, and try to go 1-0 like Caleb and the team says. Now, um, there's also those guys that are fans, right? The Chicago fans, not fans, the Chicago fans. And it looks like they're here again. So, wow. Did you see the Bears game? I was trying to tell you guys that Ben Johnson and Caleb are the guys that we need. You go, there's ebbs and flows in every single game. We go to Soldier Field, the weather was there, and we did what we were supposed to do. We won games. Now, we're going to go over to Vegas, take care of Steve Spurrier, Pete Carroll, you know who I'm talking about. We go down there and do what we're supposed to do, and Super Bowl, here we come. Guys, I'm a regular fan, right? That doesn't mean that I'm a perfect one. You know, I get pissed at certain plays. I get pissed when we don't do what we're supposed to do, which is put guys in position to win. That's it. But we just have to understand that there are going to be ups and downs. We have a brand new coaching staff. We are in game 4. Temper everything. I feel like the over under for the Bears is 7. If we win 7 games this year, that is a adjustable situation to go into next season with. But we have to be smart. We have to stay healthy and we have to make sure that we understand what we have, right? We have a franchise quarterback. We are finally understanding that we're moving to Arlington Heights. We have our stadium in view. So what we have to do is make sure that when we're on the field, we're doing what we're supposed to do. Again, I keep saying it, but just win games. You play to win the game. But other than that, right? Fantasy's going well. Eric, energetic team. That bum is still 0-3. And, everything's right with the world. The Bears win. UFC is back. And I plan on going 3-1. But other than that, the Bulls are coming. Cubs are going to the playoffs. There's a lot more sports to talk about, and I can't wait to do that in this coming season. But for Caleb, this is Dion. We'll see you guys next week. EC Sports.